The story begins on the massive Academy station called Aegis 9, which floats quietly above a dead blue planet, shining against the endless dark of space. And this station is known across the galaxy as a place where the strongest species train to become warriors, leaders and defenders of the Galactic Union. With long metal hulls, hard gravity zones, loud combat rooms, and strict rankings that decide who is strong and who is weak. And among all these powerful cadets from different alien races sits one human girl named Mara Vance, who is small, quiet, and ranked near the bottom. A fact that makes many aliens ignore her or look down on her, believing humans are fragile compared to them. And at this moment, Mara is sitting alone in the observation deck, holding a warm cup of coffee in her hands while watching the stars drift slowly past the glass window, her face calm, her breathing steady, her mind focused, because she has learned from human training that calm is a weapon. And while the station feels peaceful, something dangerous is already moving closer. As the warning system sends out a low silent signal instead of a loud alarm, the lights flicker once and then again, and suddenly 3 unknown ships appear out of warp far too close to the station, breaking all safety rules, and these ships belong to the Carrick's Blood Clade, a feared group of alien hunters who live only to hunt strong enemies and prove their worth through killing. Tall creatures covered in hard bone armor with sharp limbs and glowing eyes. And they are not here to steal or destroy the station, they are here to hunt. Because rumors have spread through the galaxy about humans being weak on the outside but dangerous inside. And the Carricks want to test that story, and very quickly a red target mark appears on Mara's wrist display, marking her as the chosen prey, even though she does not panic or shout. While around her, other cadets sense danger and begin to run, their fear filling the air as security doors slam shut and alarms finally begin to cry out. But Mara remains seated, taking another slow sip of coffee as if nothing has changed. Because inside her something ancient and powerful is already awake. Something humans have learned to control rather than release. And suddenly the glass behind her explodes inward as the first Carrick's hunter crashes through, tall and deadly, holding a glowing blade strong enough to cut through armor and bone. And it mocks her, calling her weak and promising a loud death. Yet Mara does not rise in anger or fear. She calmly places her coffee cup down on the floor so it will not spill, looks at the hunter, and answers softly that it will be the one to die, which makes the hunter laugh because it sees only a small human cadet standing alone. But that laughter ends when the air around Mara seems to bend and shake, gravity itself changing as the hunter is suddenly lifted off the ground without being touched, its limbs flailing in shock as an invisible force crushes inward, breaking bones, folding armor, and slamming its body into the wall with brutal force, killing it instantly. And the other hunters rushing into the room freeze in confusion and anger as they see what remains of their ally spread across the metal wall. While Mara slowly stands up, her posture steady and controlled, her face still calm. Because humans do not explode in rage like other species. They focus, and as more hunters flood the room with weapons raised, ready to attack, the station lights dim as power drains toward one place. Toward her, and the air hums with pressure, revealing humanity's greatest secret, which is not size or muscle but discipline and restraint. The ability to lock away terrifying power behind rules, training, and calm minds. And the hunters feel fear for the first time as they realize their mistake. Because they did not come to face a weak cadet. They came to face a human who knows how to unleash the beast only when needed. And as the tension rises and the invisible force around Mara grows stronger, the story sets the stage for a brutal clash that will test not only her strength, but the galaxy's understanding of humanity itself. The chaos inside Aegis 9 grew quickly as the alien hunters spread through the station, their laughter and aggression filling the halls while Union security forces scrambled to respond, but moved too slowly to stop the slaughter, and the Carrick's hunters cut down anyone in their path, expecting humans to panic and scream like prey. But they were about to realize that humans fought differently, with strategy, determination, and a stubborn courage that made them far more dangerous than their size suggested. And from hangars and training zones across the station, human cadets began to move with precise coordination, forming groups, setting traps, and using their knowledge of the station's layout to control the flow of battle, while Commander Reyes directed them over the comms, calling for civilians to be protected and giving clear orders to buy time, as human ships detached from the station to confront the alien fleet. Despite their small size, older weapons, and weaker shields, yet these pilots did not hesitate, flying dangerously close to enemy ships, weaving through plasma fire, pushing engines beyond safe limits, showing a fearless ingenuity that surprised the hunters. And inside the station, the Carrick's hunters finally reached Mara again, only to stop in shock at the devastation surrounding her. Walls covered in the twisted remains of their comrades, metal bent and cracked in impossible ways, bodies frozen mid-motion as if time itself had been altered by some unseen force. And at the center of it all, Mara stood, her jacket ripped, blood running from her nose, yet her calm smile and steady posture spoke of power far beyond what the aliens had imagined. And the invisible beast within her sent waves through the air, bending gravity, smashing hunters into walls, and ripping shields apart with ease, while one hunter tried to resist with a glowing energy shield, only to have it collapse inward the moment Mara extended her hand, proving that human control and patience could overcome even the most advanced alien defenses. And as she spoke, warning the hunters that their arrogance had led them into a trap, she demonstrated not just strength, but the quiet confidence of someone who understood when to strike and when to wait, a lesson in patience that most species never learn. While outside, more human ships arrived from distant colonies, including old frigates, defense ships, and heavily armed freighters, showing that the call for aid had reached far and that humans were willing to fight together, united by instinct and loyalty. And this sudden surge of human presence in space, combined with the destructive force Mara wielded inside the station, began turning the tide, forcing the Carricks into retreat as their numerical advantage became meaningless against humans who fought with coordination, courage, and sheer willpower. And in the midst of this chaos, the Carrick's leader's image appeared on the communication channel, his voice filled with anger and disbelief as he proclaimed that humans were nothing but prey. Yet Commander Reyes calmly replied that humans were not prey and that what the Carricks faced was the result of restraint, training, and intelligence, a force far more dangerous than they had imagined. And as the station shook with the growing presence of Mara's power, the alien ships fired a massive weapon, a planet-breaker missile aimed at destroying Aegis 9, threatening millions of lives. And at this moment, Mara closed her eyes and let the beast inside her fully awaken, feeling its power surge through the station, through space, and through her body, bending physics and sending a shockwave of force outward, deflecting the missile, crushing approaching hunters, and signaling to every human ship that the fight was not over but had reached a turning point. And as explosions lit the corridors, plasma streaked across the void of space, and hunters screamed in terror at the humans' unexpected strength. It became clear that humanity's true power did not lie in raw numbers, technology, or size, but in the combination of patience, control, ingenuity, and an indomitable will that could turn even the most hopeless situation into a battlefield where humans dictated the terms. And as Mara's focus never wavered, the other cadets, pilots, and commanders followed her example, showing that humans, though underestimated, could rise as a force unmatched in the galaxy, and the battle escalated into a deadly dance of courage, strategy, and fury, with each human action amplifying the others, while the alien hunters, who had once considered themselves invincible, realized they were facing a species that did not fight for glory, honor, or pride alone, but for survival, unity, and the protection of everything they held dear. And this rising tension, combined with Mara's calm yet terrifying control over her own hidden power, set the stage for an epic climax where the limits of human strength and strategy would be tested against the seemingly unstoppable hunters, illustrating not just the danger the humans faced, but the extraordinary resilience, cleverness, and heroic spirit that defined them. And as the story progressed, it became clear that humanity would not bow, flee, or cry out in fear, but would stand firm, push back, and fight with every tool, skill, and ounce of courage they possessed, showing that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit could rise, the human mind could adapt, and human strength, quiet, controlled, and explosive when unleashed, was something no alien could predict or withstand. The final part of the story unfolds with the climax of the battle as Mara Vance fully unleashes the power she had been controlling, and the tension in the station reaches its peak as the Carex hunters' remaining forces realize they have underestimated the humans completely, and in the cold emptiness of space, the planet-breaker missile that the hunters fired toward Aegis 9 begins its deadly approach. A weapon capable of destroying the station and killing millions if it connects. But Mara does not panic, does not shout, and does not move in fear, because she has learned that human strength lies not in impulsive action but in calm calculation and control, and as she closes her eyes, the invisible beast inside her awakens fully, sending out a powerful wave that bends gravity, reverses the missile's path, and sends it hurtling back toward the flagship of the Carex fleet, causing massive explosions that destroy the alien ships and scatter their forces in terror, while human ships from distant colonies, some old and poorly equipped, others fast and heavily armed, advance into the battlefield with precision, coordination, and fearless determination, cutting off escape routes, firing relentlessly, and showing that the human race fights as a single organism when threatened. And inside the station, the remaining Carex hunters are thrown into panic as Mara's controlled power bends walls, floors, and the very air around them, crushing armor, shattering weapons, and demonstrating strength beyond their imagination, while Mara herself, though showing small signs of strain with blood trickling from her ears and fading vision, remains calm, sitting at the center of the storm she created. Because humans, unlike other species, can carry unimaginable power without letting it overwhelm their minds. And Commander Rias, witnessing this, rushes to her side and assures her that she has saved countless lives. And though she smiles weakly, she knows the battle has come at a cost, as the beast within her must retreat and rest, leaving her physically weakened but victorious, and the station, though damaged, remains intact, a testament to human resilience, ingenuity, and careful planning. While the Galactic Council soon issues a warning to all species that humans are not to be hunted, acknowledging that they are far more dangerous than anyone had realized, and Mara, after months of recovery, returns to her training quietly, still ranked low by official measures, still holding her coffee, still calm, and yet now carrying the knowledge that humans, though often underestimated, possess a unique combination of patience, courage, control, and raw potential that can turn the tide of entire battles. And as she moves through the halls of Aegis 9, other cadets, alien and human alike, watch in awe, knowing that she has changed the way the galaxy views humanity, not through sheer size or technology, but through the quiet unleashing of the hidden strength that every human carries. And while the Carrick's blood-clad fleet is destroyed, and space around Aegis 9 quiets after the explosions, Mara's presence reminds all who saw the battle that humans do not need to dominate at all times. But when provoked, when the need arises, they can unleash a force of unimaginable power. Precision and intelligence, blending strategy, instinct, and raw strength in a way that no alien species can predict. And as the story closes, Mara's calm form, coffee cup in hand, becomes a symbol of the essence of humanity, composed on the surface, full of potential beneath, capable of turning desperation into triumph, and ready to rise whenever the galaxy tests them, proving that humans survive not by recklessness, not by arrogance, but by knowing exactly when to act, when to strike, and when to remain still, a lesson that reshapes the understanding of power, courage, and determination across the stars, leaving an enduring mark on the galaxy and on every creature that dares to judge humanity lightly.